searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you. 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 I'm still from dirt to the sky. I'm still searching for you.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You disgust me.
Who gives a shit?
Go on.
I made it the fuck up. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. It's glorious.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. T-shirted historian, and welcome to Tuesday with the Geeks. Or maybe in this case, it's just the Geek. Because I got Daniel from Driving with Dragons today.
What's
How's it
up?
going, man?
What's up? Oh, I'm half dead and half sick, but I'll survive, I guess.
Really? What you got, man?
Just a ridiculously nasty head cold.
Yeah, man, allergies are bad this year. I don't know what it is.
But, yeah, good old fashioned spring head cold, just what you always wanted.
Absolutely. I mean, I've noticed people getting a little bit more sick than usual, earlier than usual. So I figure there's got to be something in the air that's just nastier, or maybe that it's just affecting more people, and I have no idea what it could be. But anyway,
Heck, who knows?
Yep.
Could be
Hello
anything.
to hello to everybody out there in Xland and Kickland as well. And look at this. I already got our first bot showing up on Kick. T-shirt historian, would you like many viewers? Let's make you popular. Would you like to be popular, Daniel?
I would love to be popular, but yeah, I'm not so keen on the whole kickbot. I mean, mostly what they do is say, "Hey, look, do you want to see the same stuff we lifted off of some chick's OnlyFans?"
No kidding. And actually, I'll tell you what I have been noticing has become kind of a trend is a lot of guys are basically making AI videos, and you can always tell it's the same batch of dudes because they're using all the same exact music tracks that are lifted from the same sources, usually like funk, Brazil. But and you know they post these things up, and I don't know how many of them they're posting up per day, but they're posting up a ton of them per day as shorts, and they're spread across multiple channels and multiple accounts. And I'm just kind of like, how much traffic does that really pull in, and how much engagement does that really pull in?
Probably a lot. One sec.
And then the other one that gets me is there's people who will steal other people's shorts or their videos and stuff and repost them with the only addition or change to the video being they show an image of themselves in the corner reacting to it or listening to it or whatever. And I'm just like, man, we have hit a new low in video platform. So I don't know what's up. But let's see. We've got Diecast Ironcaster who says, got some weird sniffles that's persisted here. Yeah, why are you in the audience, man? How come you're not on the stage? What's the matter?
Because he's got weird sniffles.
Oh. It's not like he's going to spread contagion to us. I mean, we're insulated.
Yeah, I mean, we only got a few thousand miles away. But yeah, I mean, it's one thing I've noticed. I've seen a lot of it on on Facebook. Is they'll go in and they'll find, and usually it's not the soft porn stuff, but it's the what it turns into is it'll be the one song I've noticed is Verbatim by Mother. And it's all the same thing. It's a bunch of Wojak memes and NPC memes set to that song, and it'll tell like a very brief synopsis of like a serial killer or a crazy crime or something like that. And it's, like you said, it's the same Indian and Brazilian accounts just cranking it out for 5 seconds a pop. But you got to think, it's the definition of clickbait. It's it's 2 seconds of your time, and it's right there in your feed. So they've got to be racking up a ton of clicks. And what I think will be a problem with that for content creators is the more easy garbage clicks that you can farm, the more the platforms are going to start cracking down on how long does somebody have to be on the content before it's considered a click? Do they just completely ignore clicks and go entirely based off of watch time or repeat viewing or subscribe, some other part of the algorithm? Or do people just start getting screwed because the amount of money that you can make per click for advertising falls through the floor because there's some Brazilian AI meme account, like you said, using the same 2 seconds of a song, punching out, getting 10 million clicks, but no real actual retention.
And I mean, if they've got like 7 or 8 different accounts going, of course they're bot farming the shit out of it, so they're doing fine.
Oh, yeah.
And here I am, just kind of getting by barely. It's like, I managed to get paid once every, 6 to 8 months from YouTube, just because I don't rack up a lot of views. I don't necessarily rack up very much donations or tips or anything, but I'm still doing my thing, more or less, kind of, sort of irregularly at this point. I've been out a bit lately, but, kind of looking to get back on the horse and ride this thing a bit longer, see how it goes.
Well, they'll adjust the algorithms and change things, and they just did. I mean, YouTube just did a major algorithm change here not too long ago, and like one of the things that was bad for a long time that I think is supposed to be better now is it was actually not good for people to go to your content from outside links. So if you weren't getting clicks off of the main YouTube page out of people's main feed, then they weren't really they weren't giving it much weight unless you were doing it off the main feed. And then they were also, I think it was something like, if you don't have if you don't get 30 seconds of watch time, that click is actually bad. Which kind of sucks because there's a lot of times where it's like, oh man, I've opened up my YouTube and it goes to whatever video I was last on, or I hit the wrong video or something. I'm going to the next one, or I'm going to skip your ridiculous ad and I accidentally skipped to the next video, but it was at 28 seconds. So I just hurt the content creator that I was trying to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, as always, I guess, it's just kind of a wait and see approach and see how the algorithm shakes out or what the new guy at YouTube wants to do to fix things, or otherwise just, figure out what the algorithm requires, because it's like, back before I was monetized, I was able to show off all kinds of stuff and nobody cared, But then all of a sudden, as soon as I got monetized, everybody's looking over at my page going, oh, I have a copyright claim on that. And I'm like, you mean you let this go for 4 years and you didn't say shit, and then now all of a sudden that I'm monetized and you possibly stand to make a little bit of money on it, you care?
Well, yeah, a lot of the big reaction channels will point that out. They'll, the honest ones will tell you, they'll say, look, I get no revenue from YouTube watches because whoever's video I'm reacting to, they hook onto it, and all the revenue that comes from my watches, my views, goes to them because it's a reaction video and they made a claim. But I mean, I'm just over here like what is it with Chris Pratt with the noose around his neck? Is that who it is in the meme? No, it's not Chris Pratt. It's the one I'm talking about. First Time.
Oh yeah,
I mean
Franco.
Yeah, Franco, James Franco, because I come from the finance world. I've been dealing with credit scores, since I was 18 years old, and it's the same game. People in the quote unquote credit repair industry figure out how the algorithm works. They manipulate it. Some guy over there for $700 will give you an 800 credit score. So the bureaus go and change it to counteract that. And 5 levels down, you end up with something radically counterproductive that makes no sense. And in order to make this system that nobody understands how their credit works anymore, because you're trying to dodge the people manipulating the system. And the same thing happens with the algorithm. The Mr. Beasts and whatnot of the world figure out how to screw around with the algorithm. And once they figure it out and start manipulating it, YouTube changes it, and it screws over all the people who didn't figure out how to mess around with it fast enough.
Yeah. Not to mention, it's like the guidelines and stuff keep changing, and there's not always a lot of notification to it. So, for a while there, even big creators were getting slapped for reused content, which apparently is still something of a big problem, which is one of the reasons why I quit doing shorts based on my shows. I mean, yeah, some of those were funny, and I got some really good engagement out of some of those. But yeah, when I'm seeing big creators are getting slapped with that, I'm like, my little ass wouldn't last 5 seconds with this. So if they decided they wanted to come after me, so I just quit doing it.
Here's a fun example of it. I posted a video last week. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been my 7 levels video or something. But somebody on X, Savage, I think, posted like, hey, look at this. We got Driving and Dragons, and I think OGGM and Scudder for Mike all show up in my YouTube recommends, but the only one it shows a thumbnail for is Scudder for Mike. And basically it was like, yeah, because Scudder for Mike uses the, picture of me pointing at something, green screen background, stock YouTube clickbait template, like the ones that Professor DM uses, and none of the rest of us do. So his thumbnail trips their algorithm for what's an effective thumbnail, and they don't even show my thumbnail. So you have to know, if you got multiple notifications, if it's just my video you're notified for, there's my thumbnail. But if it's you, me, and Scudderfer, it's going to be Scudderfer because he uses the clickbait thumbnail and you and I don't.
Very true. I don't think anybody even notices that I use Johnny anymore. But I'm still using it. I'm still sticking to it. It's what I brought to the game to start with, and that's what I'm going to stick with. Really quick too. It's like Silverlock back from urgent care, but you're here. I'm glad to see you, buddy. I hope your urgent care visit was okay. I mean, is everything all right? I do want to extend kind of a shout out to our friend DM Blackwall, who has kind of a family illness going on that is very dangerous and it's very ongoing. And I'm sure it's very near and dear to his heart. I don't want to go into details and stuff. If he really wants to talk about it, he will. But I just wanted to say that, man, Todd, you're in my prayers. I really hope everything works out and, the recovery comes through and you guys are all right. Until then, all I can do, man, is just wish you the best and hope everything turns out okay. But Silverlock got a small fracture of a toe, but it will be okay. Oh man, that's gotta hurt. And oh my God, look, it's Peter Brinkman's fan site. I haven't seen you in forever, dude.
Yeah, broken toe always sucks. That's one of those ones that's a nuisance, and getting over it's a pain in the ass too. Just because
they can't really do anything for it.
Well, not only that, you constantly are putting weight on it in ways that you didn't even realize till it was broken.
Mm-hmm. I didn't break my toe, but I kind of stressed it or sprained one of my toes the other day, and it wasn't even like a main toe. It was just like, I want to say it was my middle toe or it was my next to pinky toe. And all of a sudden, it's kind of like every time I put some pressure on that thing or I was gripping, I sure felt it. And apparently I must use my toes to grip quite a bit more than I thought so.
Oh, that's kind of what they're there for. It's like when you blow a hip flexor or pull one of those small control muscles under your scapula or something. It's like I didn't even know this muscle existed before. I sure as hell don't know how to activate it consciously, but I sure as hell know it's there when I pull it because all of a sudden it hurts no matter what I'm doing.
Yes. You take the small things for granted until they start breaking down on you.
Like, that muscle that's there to stabilize things stabilizes everything, including my arm when I reach this direction with nothing in my hand.
All right. Well, I have got some new media. So we've got some new clips to show off. Well, I don't know if we want to show them all off, but I figure these are ones that y'all can request if you want to donate or if you just say something silly enough to get a reaction. But let's see. We have this one, which we've already shown. There you go. Don't even need to say any words on that one, right? And there's this one. This is a classic.
Golf clap? Golf clap.
Underrated classic.
I love
underrated classic.
I love that one. This one is kind of long. You know what? I'm not going to show that one. It's too damn long. It's 43 seconds. It's too long. I figure if it's more than 15 or 16 seconds, it's probably way too long.
Honestly, I don't think they like the thank you clips and stuff like that for for super traps and that kind of thing. Really, I don't think they should ever be more than a couple of seconds long. Because, I'll watch a show like Diversity and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm watching Double D, a lot of times I end up just coming back and watching the replay so I can fast forward and stuff. Because it's constantly interrupted with Steiner math and, the other 1,400 different clips that he uses. And it's like I can only imagine how bad that would be if all of his clips were like 15 seconds long.
Yeah. I usually try to be a little bit more choosy about them, but this one was too good not to use.
Oh, yeah. My name is Bob Kelso, and I like whores.
Hey, that's not a bad one for length either.
No. This one is a little bit long, but this is kind of choice. I like this one. This is very situational.
I just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah? Because I live in a shithole! Do you know what I mean? Birmingham is a fucking shithole! I hate the fucking place. I fucking hate it. It's full of dickheads. I fucking hate it.
Yep. Very, very situational, but I'm sure we could find a spot on that one.
Well, it's kind of like the M. Bison. For me, it was a Tuesday thing. Sometimes the longer version of the clip is just what's needed, given on based on the comment that's made.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of clips, I thought I'd show this one off because it's. I have so many comments on this, and I figure you probably will too if you see it. But apparently, this was the Ghost of Yote reveal or something. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, it's Erika Ishii. Now, just first off, I'm gonna say the character in the game wears the exact same apparel, but somehow manages to not look this bad.
I'm not super familiar with the game, but I know what's coming, and it's pretty terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just from what I've seen from the clips and stuff like that from it, this is what the character wears, but it really looks bad when you see it in real life. Because I mean, just look at all this shit on that outfit.
I mean, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you wouldn't wear anything like this. It would be too restrictive and all. And then look at how she draws her sword. Now, I know this is people are going to go T-shirt, stop being a complete, autist and, talking about the sword. But I'm sorry, guys. The sword is my thing. So when I see this being done, I have to comment on it.
Well, I mean, what's even worse is if you want to be cool, if you're trying to make like a cool, flashy move, it's like they say in racing, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. If it's not smooth, it looks like shit.
Yes. And as you could see that she had difficulty pulling that off. And that should not be a difficult way to draw, but a better way would have been for her to do it exactly the way you're supposed to do it, which is wear the damn thing through your belt, use your hip rotation to help pull it out and make it come out naturally. Plus, you could do a cut with it and it looks awesome. But no, we decided to do this and it just looks pointless and looks bad because you could see where her sword got caught in her saya. It's like, if you drew like this in combat, you would already be dead because you were too busy trying to look fancy and the other guy has already hacked your gut open.
Yeah, and it's almost like she tried to use it's almost like she tried to come across and use parry 1-2, which is, a French thing, but with none of the things that are necessary for parry 1-2 to work.
Mm-hmm. Also, both of her swords look exactly the same length. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's noticeable.
It probably is. I mean, it ain't like we're expecting to have a die show here. They're gonna run around with, they're gonna run around with 2 katanas and they're gonna try and do Ronin warriors.
Yeah, they're basically all kind of gonna try to act like Musashi, and then they don't seem to realize that Musashi was quite a bit taller than the average Japanese person and strong as a damn ox. And
also typically didn't use 2 katanas. He typically used a katana and a wakizashi.
Mm-hmm. Almost like she can barely hold that up. Like, is it too heavy for you? And you can see in the background.
How you gonna get your own culture wrong?
I know. Yeah, it's not like, I mean, Erika Ishii is Japanese, so it's kind of like, okay. But that suit, that outfit really honestly looks bad.
A lot of stuff, and I know it's a video game and it's not an anime per se, but we know it's anime influenced. Mm-hmm. But a lot of that stuff is like, there are things that work in animation that don't work in real life. Like there was plenty to complain about with the Cowboy Bebop live action. And as a huge Cowboy Bebop fan, I was very, very displeased with a lot of the changes that were made. Faye's attire was not one of them.
Yeah.
Because her outfit is completely irrational to use with an actual human being. And to make it look properly and not fall apart the second she moved, it would look retarded. And every time somebody shows me a picture of some cosplayer dressed up like Faye Valentine, I'm like, yes. And you know what she does? She walks around, she makes cutesy poses holding up a Victory Japan sign, and she signs autographs. She doesn't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, don't try to make the anime costume in real life. 9 times out of 10, it looks horrible.
Yes. Although, in their defense, they did get it right in the One Piece animation, which I will throw a clip up of that here in a minute because it gets Ironcaster excited, even though he is apparently not going to join us tonight for reasons I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's mad at me for some reason. I don't know why he would be mad at me.
He's just really excited that the MD Geist live action is coming out.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Here he is. Hi, Ironcaster.
Hello.
Hello. What happened, bruh?
Oh, life got caught up.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah. It's just like I got out of the shower, and then family, Grandpa wanted me to go get him some water so we could take a shave, and it's like, oh yeah, right now. I was supposed to be out here 5 minutes ago.
Well, that's cool. All right, we'll finish this off with the crowning achievement. Yeah. Hand off the sword because it's too damn heavy, and pull off the mempo, which honestly, why is she wearing a mempo? I don't understand. It's dumb. Look at all the different pieces of shit that she's got on. Okay, she's got on hakama, which is fine. It's not normally worn by women, but okay, I get it. She's trying to ape the whole, I am a samurai and I have to be able to move. And she's wearing a male haori up on top and an obi. The obi doesn't look like it's a proper silken sash or anything. It just looks like a cut piece of cloth. But then on top of that, she's also got like some rope bound around it for reasons, I guess, so that she can hang her giant bottle of whatever that is. I guess it's supposed to be a spirit of some sort.
It's the gourd that holds the sake wasp spirit, whatever the plot made.
I guess. I mean, it's just like that really seems more like a Chinese thing than a Japanese thing. But okay, I'll bear with that. She has a archer's breastplate on, a female archer's breastplate, even though she carries no bow. And then she's got that fur sleeve for, I don't know, is it cold? But then she's got like a big, like an almost Jingasa hat, which looks like it's seen better days, which I guess is supposed to give her the whole rugged, eye of wandering through the desert or whatever like that for days and days and days. And then, like I said, she had the 2 katana on, which confused me to begin with, too. And then she's also got, what is it, the Suniaiti, or what are the hand guards? The iron sleeves and stuff for, or kote, yeah, I think. Kote.
Dada, was it Dasana?
Uh-huh. And I'm just like, okay, so she's basically a woman dressed as a male. And where a male would fit that outfit really, really well and probably, do it out differently, she just kind of looks, the whole outfit just kind of looks like it's like designed to, stop the male gaze.
She looks like a kid. She looks like a little girl who went to daddy's closet and just started pulling out random pieces of clothes and then went walking around in.
Yeah. And I'm sure the character doesn't look this bad in the game, but to see it in real life, it's like, ooh, man.
Well,
that's not good.
As someone who's not as into the samurai aesthetic, for me personally, I think the suit looks fine. Just to give some pushback here, I don't know nearly as much about it, but let me ask you: if we were getting the same treatment with like a Revolutionary War, story about about fighting the British, would you have as much to complain about if they were getting elements of like the Redcoats wrong?
What do you mean, like the British soldiers?
Yeah,
I certainly would.
Yeah, I mean, they have a specific way they dress, and they had rules enforced for them. If you had a red coat showing up and like had all this extra crap, layering over the top of his outfit, I mean, pretty sure the first thing his commander would do is be like, "What the hell is that you're wearing?"
Okay, maybe the Redcoats were the bad example there, but let's say the Revolutionaries,
the Colonials.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess for that you'd have to look at like Mel Gibson in was it The Patriot? Those guys were still pretty much dressed as colonials would dress. They didn't wear anything extra. You know what I mean? It's like they wore what they needed to where it looked kind of believable. So it didn't look like it was just a bunch of extra crap. Now, if Mel Gibson showed up with, like pieces of, 19th century, 18th century English armor, strapped over the top of his torso or head or whatever like that, and, wearing, like a claymore or something ridiculous, along with his long rifles and stuff, that'd be kind of like, this is kind of dumb. So,
I mean, you largely get the same thing with like Civil War movies and stuff like that too, where I get irritated by it. I get irritated by Civil War movies where you see a bunch of rank and file soldiers that are like in pristine Confederate gray or are in just great, crisp Navy, almost dress Union uniforms. And it's like, that was not what happened. I mean, you had, first off, in the beginning of the war, in the early part of the war, you had a whole lot of people wearing the same uniforms because they were part of the same armies in the beginning. It was a civil war. So those Southern soldiers were Union soldiers like the day before they started fighting. And then you also had a lot of, shortages. So Confederate soldiers a lot of times was just like, something gray that I might have a gray coat, but everything else I'm wearing is kind of patchwork. And same thing happened with a lot of Union units, and you'll end up with these Civil War pieces where it's like, oh look, here comes, here comes Hooker with every single one of his soldiers looking like he's a strapped general or a frock general in his unit.
Or I suppose even some of the smaller things like introducing weapons that hadn't been invented by a certain battle yet. But I just felt like I would give a little bit of pushback to see if are we just being hyper critical of this particular film or game, or is that inconsistent?
I mean, would I care as much if this person were a little less vocal in their activism, and comments by the developers and things were also a little less vocal in their activism? I mean, I might show it a little bit more leniency, but the very fact is, it's just kind of like the whole premise of the game seems to be at odds with the original, because it's kind of like the ghost of Tsushima is like apparently completely forgotten about, lost, or otherwise immaterial to this story, and instead you're supposed to embrace this new character and just totally forget about the old one, and she just stinks of girl boss. I mean,
you also have to ask, are we looking at a historical period piece, or are we looking at a piece of entertainment? So, like, a great example is the movie Braveheart. Braveheart is offensive historically.
It is historically bad.
It is offensive. It is so bad. It is an amazing movie. It is a phenomenal movie. And if you went into Braveheart and you stripped away everything about this being the true story of William Wallace, there would be no reason for anyone to complain in any way at all about that movie.
Nope.
It's because it claims to be historically accurate that you get to start nitpicking things like the type of weapons that they use and the way they fight. And the fact that the queen that he allegedly has a child with would have been like 6 when he was alive.
Well, that, and they weren't wearing kilts at that time, and they weren't using claymores like that at that time. And
no, and just that's what I'm saying about all the weapons and stuff at that time. And, you know, there was no prima doctor.
No. And they really, the thing that's really criminal about it is they downplayed Robert the Bruce immensely. Robert the Bruce was a hell of a knight and a fighter. I mean, oh my God, I can't remember which battle it was, but during the battle, he got charged by a guy named Sir Henry de Bohun. And here's Robert the Bruce standing there, you know, with nothing but a battle axe. Robert de Bohun comes at him with a, lance. He's mounted, he's armored up, he's all ready to go. And Robert the Bruce basically sidesteps his lance and clove his skull in two with his battle axe. He broke his battle axe in the process. But
fully half of the William Wallace legend, not even talking about Braveheart itself, but fully half to 2/3 of the William Wallace legend is actually Robert the Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Just miss a credit.
Uh-huh.
But
so,
that's where you got to have the difference. It's like, is this, when Rambo comes out holding 2 M50s and, letting off shots like he's gotten, like it's nothing, when those guns would be bowling his ass over backwards, even trying to hold 2 of them. It's like, I don't care, because this is not supposed to be a historically accurate depiction of operations in Afghanistan or Vietnam. But if you were trying to do like if it happened in Full Metal Jacket, you'd be like, seriously, Kubrick?
All right. This is true. However, to answer your question on this, and this is something that Caster can attest to too, because I believe he also plays Ghost of Tsushima. But when Sucker Punch Studio first brought out Ghost of Tsushima, they were getting all kind of rave reviews, including from the Japanese people who live in the Tsushima area to this day, about how accurate everything about their game was to the lore and the way that everything from, daily living in the samurai period was.
To the point that they were ambassadors.
Yeah. The Sucker Punch Studio were considered to be ambassadors for Tsushima because of this by the Japanese people, because of how accurate everything was. And that was part of what I loved about that game so intensely, was the fact that they paid so much attention to the details and got so much right that I was like, these guys really cared about what they were doing. And it's one of the things why people went so hard when Assassin's Creed Shadows came out. Because they took one look at all that and they said, dude, this is so historically inaccurate. You have something perfect like Ghost of Tsushima that released 5-8 years ago before this? And you didn't learn a damn thing from them and put out this piece of shit.
You can't do that. You can't follow up something that is super true to life and super historically accurate. And if you did a true, I can't even think of a good, if you did a true Hattori Hanzo type thing, then turn around and followed it up with Assassin's Creed in Japan under the same title, just by having the same title and the same franchise, you are now basically false advertising, because this is what this franchise is associated with, and you turned around and gave us Assassin's Creed.
Right, and that is what I think about Ghost of Yotei. I don't know if it's going to be nearly as historically accurate. Just from looking at the the main character herself, and the fact that apparently she runs around with a wolf. It's kind of like, let's take every cool samurai trope that has come across in manga or television or movies for the last 150 years, and let's try to see if we can layer as much shit on top of this one female character. So we got a female character like Lady Snowblood. She wears 2 swords like Musashi. She's got a wolf, which is an homage to Lone Wolf and Cub. She's also got a bottle of drink on her hip, which I guess is some kind of an homage to Zatoichi, possibly, Drunken Master, which is Chinese, but also all this other shit. And I'm just kind of like, there is a thing as too much.
I mean, that's what I was going to say, is that when I look at this, I'm like, I'm seeing every like Toonami anime trope for a samurai that I've seen. I mean, staring at her, I see, sunflowers or samurais that smell of sunflowers, and I see Samurai X or Rurouni Kenshin or whatever it's called in America.
Yeah.
And I see Inuyasha stuff, and basically it's all of the folklore tropes piled onto one person. And, like you said about girl boss thing, it's like, hey, we got a female protagonist. Give her everything. All the powers, all the stuff, all the cool mystical abilities, everything. Give it all to her. Let her read the tea leaves and have the magical no mask and everything.
Yeah, and apparently one of her other tropes, too, is that she's an entertainer or something like that. So she also carries a biwa, which is like a big Japanese stringed instrument. So that also is taken from Lone Wolf and Cub, as well as Blade of the Immortal.
So she's playing without encumbrance.
So do you think we're also going to find out she's part geisha?
I'm sure that's part of it. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of, I was raised in a geisha house or sold to a geisha house before, somebody did something horrible to me and I escaped, and after murdering him and had to go on the hunt or on the lam, and then learned my swordsmanship from some kind of super duper powerful swordswoman or swordsman or something, and started getting my revenge. Or I don't know. I don't know the plot, but I can tell you it's going to be so infested with every fucking samurai trope that you have already heard in a dozen good samurai films and bad ones, that you're just going to be shaking your head through the whole thing going, nah, man. Nah, bro. So, Patty says, I saw a video somewhere where the message was, I won't tell conservatives not to buy my stuff, but I will tell you that I'm going to buy some. Oh. Okay. I don't want to say that stuff on the air. I like to keep my channel, but
well,
give me more reasons not to buy your game.
Exactly. Well, I've said it before. I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't have a problem with trans people either. And if people want to spend their money on that stuff, that's fine. I don't care. Those people have a right to exist just like I do. But
no problem with the people, plenty of problem with the movement. And when you make it a statement, it becomes a statement, not simply you doing your own thing.
Right. Exactly. There are a lot of folks out there who just want to, transition, get on with their lives and not make a big stink about it. And then there's people out there who have made the entire act of it so big a part of their identity that that's literally all they have to their personality is this cultish behavior.
And most of them are never going to finish anyway. Like a Dylan Mulvaney is never going to finish because the act of quote unquote transitioning is their entire brand.
Yes, exactly. It's a show. It's not a true act of self-love or self-interest or anything. Unlike other people who I do know and I'm genuinely fond of, who really do feel this way, and that's what they want to do with their lives, and I'm okay with it. I mean, if that's what they want to do, because I don't have a problem with them.
I think old Buck Angel said it best because she came out and said, "I live my life as a man. I have done everything in my power to make it impossible to tell that I am not a man in any way." And I look at that and I'm like, that is a person who truly wanted to transition, so to speak, because that's what she did. Is she transitioned. These other people say you're not transitioning into anything except for a narcissistic freak, because you didn't turn into a woman, you turned into a whatever the hell that thing is.
Yes, exactly.
As Insane Clown Posse once said when they were accused of, I'm not going to use the word of what they were accused of being, but it's a term for white people who pretend they're black. He said, "Wait, what black people do you know who dress and act like us? I don't know anybody who dresses and acts like us."
Kind of true.
Oh, those wiggers.
Yeah, we were not going to use that word, Caster. Thanks. But no, it's not funny, dude. Not when it's your money. But anyway, I will show you, just to stay positive, because we need to stay positive. I will show you where cosplay actually went right. Let me find it real quick. I'm so prepared ahead of time. I have so much stuff that's loaded up that we have missed out on for various reasons, and I am so upset about it. But we're gonna start unloading it.
What the hell is that? I'm here for a sword fight.
I don't hunt rabbits with a cannon.
I'm no rabbit.
That remains to be seen.
They got it right. They got it right. Now, I mean, is it perfectly 100% exactly like the cartoons? No, but look at it.
It's thematically right.
Yes.
Yeah, sure, you say the background isn't right, the Baratier isn't 100% right. Yeah, there are ways you could nitpick, but this has the spirit of it.
It does.
You're brave. I'll give you that. So I'll do you the honor of killing you with Yoru.
That's more like it.
I mean, yeah, realistically, it would be very impossible to hold a katana in your mouth that way and cut with it. But it's still fun to watch. And yeah, I was like, Hawk's sword is just amazing.
So, since we're talking about One Piece here, I have a player. I have a player in my 5e game. Or sorry, I
was going to say, Castor, I'm sorry. We're talking about One Piece, and I know you know absolutely nothing about One Piece, so I am so sorry if we are spoiling it for you. Okay? My apologies.
I have a player in my monthly game group who is such a Zoro fanboy. He is like IRL trying to do the sword thing. He's trying to get me to allow him to, do 3 swords in my old school Essentials game. I'm like, your teeth are gonna have some problems with this.
Yeah. Because those handles are not really well situated for your teeth. They have some weight. But anyway.
You're defeated. Why do you persist?
Wounds on the back are a swordsman's greatest fate.
And wasn't it you who told me that is Sonny Chiba's son?
I did.
Man. I do kind of see some of it.
Now, I could go into how, actually in lore, they're one of the sword Zoro still has is one of these higher quality ones that were from the 21 greater swords.
So they couldn't be broken?
Yeah, there's a whole in-universe thing about there's certain master class swords and higher quality swords, the whole idea that he's gonna get mithril swords essentially.
He went super sword grade 2.
Magnificent.
That actor is so damn good in this part. I'm just gonna say that.
Grow strong and come find me. I'll be waiting.
Seriously, I've heard the American voice actor for the cartoon, and they need to immediately replace him with this guy. They do.
All right, so Mihawk is such a scene stealer that that he basically doesn't appear again for like 10 years for in any major way for like 10 years after this section here.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he persisted as a top 100 favorite characters in this series, like top 25 probably.
I can't imagine why. The guy's just awesome, dude.
I mean, that's kind of what you're supposed to do if you have a character that's not going to show up again till much later in your story. Is when Darth Vader, even though he does show up a lot sooner, but Darth Vader walking into the Rebel Corvette in the beginning of A New Hope, it sets a precedent. They could have never shown Darth Vader again till the third movie, and everybody would have been like, man, that Darth Vader guy is awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I mean, and to be quite honest, that's one of the things I think that disappointed me the most about episode 1 was the fact that they took all this time to show off Darth Maul and how awesome he was. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to be the recurring villain for all 3. Oh, they cut him in half and he fell down a fucking well. Okay. Well, that's fun, I guess. I'm serious.
Then
It's
they
like
gave us Count Poo-Poo.
Yeah, it's like my disappointment was just total. And then next film it was like, oh yeah, look, here's Jango Fett, the father of Boba Fett. Oh, he got decapitated by Mace Windu before the show was even over. Okay, well, then by the time I got to the third one, I kind of, Dooku got killed within the first 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So it was kind of like, okay, well, there went another big baddie that could have been a major threat throughout the film. And then they gave us Palpatine.
Well, I mean, the big thing that the prequel movies for Star Wars gave us was undeniable proof that the Jedi are just complete fucking morons when it comes to training anybody. It's like every single bad guy is like, you were my old student. It's like, can any of you do this right?
Yeah, apparently so. Because even Yoda screwed up, apparently, because he trained somebody who went to the dark side.
So according to the wiki, for the first, I think for all 7 of the fan popularity contests, Mihawk has persisted like 14th, 13th, 8th, 12th, 23rd, 22nd, 30th. These are essentially polls where you could break down any name of the thousands of characters that appeared across this series.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still consistently top 30.
Yeah. I kind of worry now that it's going to be a case of, in case of lagging sales numbers, break glass and remove Mihawk from the game or from the case.
Well, the thing is, you're not entirely wrong about that. He appears in a couple of times, but there's not. He doesn't. It's not like a consistent showing up to stir the pot in the background. It's just he shows up when after something interesting happens, like Luffy gets his bounty. Well, he's gonna go and show that to Mihawk, or show it to Shanks. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, like I said, we spent quite a bit of time pooping on Ghost of Yote, but I don't want people complaining that the show is super duper negative, because I have gotten that complaint not too long ago. So I do want to remember to keep things positive. So we do have some fun stuff. That was part of it. But yes.
Before we do go on, since One Piece was on the was in the conversation.
Uh-huh.
There was one thing that came out today.
Uh-oh. Show me.
This is the poster they put out for the next section. We are going to a little place called Reverse Mountain, where water literally flows up water, and this is how they get to the Grand Line,
which is the big fight. The Grand Line.
Yeah, it's essentially just an ocean where, well, to use D&D terms, like they were essentially first to third levels. Now they're going to the ocean where the 5th through 20th go.
How cool. I had some other stuff. Yeah. Nah. I had some other stuff that we were gonna show tonight to talk about, but we're kind of low on time, and maybe it would be better to do this on Saturday anyway when we have kind of a more full panel. But what you can expect on Saturday is I broke down and paid $30 and bought the Phantasy Star tabletop role-playing game from Drive Through RPG. Thank you very much, Patty, for making me spend money. But I had to because I'm a Phantasy Star fan. So we'll look at it. We'll talk about it on Saturday for sure. I also got a PDF copy of Starset 2nd edition, which, dudes, the artwork for this looks insanely good. And it's another game that we'll want to talk about on Saturday. But the other stuff I had for today was I was going to talk about EA being bought out for $55 billion by the Saudi government and what that actually means for us. But that's kind of a deep topic, and I want more voices on that. So, instead,
It only got bought out by the Sovereign Wealth Fund, but
yeah. Well, what's
and also Jared Kushner.
Yeah, and Jared Kushner, that's right. So, this came in yesterday. And as you know, I am a big Sergeant Slaughter fan. So, anytime they come out with a Sergeant Slaughter action figure, I'm pretty much the first guy who's going to want to put in a pre-order. But this is Mercer, who is one of Sarge's Marauders, along with Red Dog and... oh God, what's his name? I can't remember now. But I don't care about them so much. But this guy is Mercer, who is pretty much my other favorite G.I. Joe character besides Sergeant Slaughter. And this is Sergeant Slaughter in his gear from when he was driving the Warthog AIFV, which I had. And I do have the little bitty Sergeant Slaughter that goes with this too. But... yeah, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I gotta buy that. So I did. And it's pretty cool, and it's worth it. And I have Ironcaster to blame for that.
I'm just waiting for them to release the Sergeant Slaughter that comes with the Iron Cheek.
You know, funny thing about this, okay, you'll notice one of the hats he's got on is that beret, and I remember distinctly he was wearing this in the WWF after he did his run on G.I. Joe, and everybody thought, oh, he's coming to the WWF, he's going to be a big baby face, and it turned out he was a massive heel, who was like a Hussein supporter and all this other stuff, and
he
wore
money.
That red brief. Yeah, he needed the money, but
they wanted to turn him. He was a baby face to start with, and then he got the G.I. Joe deal. And then they wanted to turn him heel like back in the 80s. And he was like, hell no, I will stop wrestling before I let you turn me heel, because the Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe thing is like printing money for me right now. And the second I become a bad guy, my G.I. Joe money can be kissed goodbye. And then in the 90s, it was like, G.I. Joe was starting to cool down a bit, and it wasn't as much for him anymore. He needed to come back. He's like, yeah, I'll come back as a heel.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that was actually his idea to come back as a heel, just because he knew it would get all kinds of heat for it, because everybody expected him to be a babyface after his run on GI Joe. And from what I remember,
and it gave him a run with the title too, or run for the title, which I'm sure didn't influence him at all.
Oh yeah, well, that and the fact that he was in direct contention with the real American hero Hulk Hogan at the time.
Exactly. I mean, every decision made by Sergeant Slaughter having to do with these things had it wasn't the stars and stripes. It was the letter S with stripes through it that was making them decisions.
It was. But, I mean, say what you will, but I always loved Sergeant Slaughter. And I saw him back before he was wrestling with the WWF, back when he was, working with the smaller promotions and stuff like the AWA and all that stuff. I don't actually... All the wrestling guys are going to come out and start smacking me. He didn't wrestle with the AWA. He wrestled with this other organization. I'm like, I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. I was like, 5 or 6. All I knew is you turned on... Yeah, you turned on wrestling on Saturday mornings, and pretty much from 11 o'clock all the way to 7 o'clock, you had wrestling on different channels. And, every single week you could see, JYD or Andre the Giant or the Von Erichs or even Hulk Hogan back when he was wearing green trunks and wasn't, a WWF superstar yet. So
Terry Boulder.
Well, actually, yeah, exactly. Well, actually. But anyway, I have one other thing too. This is pretty fun. For those of y'all who still have not gotten on board this train yet, I'm gonna show you some stuff that's gonna make you want to, because the Forever Winter got another update, and they do update every month. So this is what is new. Game does look this good. So they've added this new tunnel system that you can use. And it goes throughout all the different levels, and it changes all the time. So encounters will never go out the same way. And for some reason, this is really slowed down. Jerky, which it shouldn't be. Somebody must be streaming on my Wi-Fi again. Master, when are we going to get you to play this?
Whenever I can find the time. But good luck with that.
And Patty, if you really want to see some more of this, I'll flood your inbox with all kinds of cool stuff from this game that will make you want to play it pretty bad. But it is multiplayer co-op. It is an extraction shooter. It is a level system. It has upgrades. It has kind of persistent weaponry. It does have some elements of building to it. Not a lot, really. I mean, as far as your bases and stuff go, you can upgrade it. And they're just adding more and more stuff to it. Apparently this time they're also adding a player home. So yeah, this is your personal quarters that you'll be able to upgrade and mess with. And yeah, the art style is insane. And on top of that, they have just announced that they are publishing the Forever Winter comic through Dark Horse, which makes me super duper excited.
Yeah, because Dark Horse is pretty solid across the board. At least with my limited knowledge of comics, they are. I don't think I've ever picked up anything from Dark Horse I didn't like.
So
yeah.
Dark Horse is doing pretty good right now. Space Ghost is a fantastic comic out of them. It's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just kind of my current knowledge of them. Like, yeah, I'm picking some stuff up from them, so I can vouch for them.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good news. That is good news. We are, of course, marching ever closer to Fist of the North Star being released, but that won't be till 2026, so we still have quite a bit of time until then.
Drink.
In the meantime, I'm still putting out videos, and apparently the Joggy one got some pretty good traction. People like that one, apparently. And I think the highest compliment I got was from Joel, the creator of Fists and Iron or Steel or you know what? I can't remember names today. I am too fried after an entire day of work, so I apologize. Joel, you know who you are. Joel Clark, you need to be on here. But anyway, he is the biggest Joggy fan of anybody I know, aside from one guy in Japan who literally has a bike outfitted like Joggies and wears a Joggy outfit and drives everywhere dressed as Joggy. But I digress. Joel's the biggest Joggy fan I know, and even he said that video was perfect. So that was high compliments from a Joggy fan. And I kind of think I've gotten a handle on how to do those videos now. And I hate to say it, I never thought I would, but using a script is actually better than trying to freeform it. I don't know. Daniel, what do you think? Do you freeform whenever you do your videos, or do you script?
Depends on the video, but mostly I script. Now, I usually my scripting consists of me freeforming what I want to say and then just reading it through a prompter. But I usually modify it a bit. It's more of a guideline and less of a explicit script. But I found out that my videos were quicker, more succinct, had less rambling, were easier to follow, were easier to chapter out. Scripting was just a much better way to do it. It makes for better content as a whole, to, at the bare minimum, have a guideline of what you want to talk to and how you want to segue to it.
I also found that it kind of adds a little bit more of a dramatic edge to it, since we are talking about, anime characters.
There you go.
Yep. But anyway, we're past our hour mark, so I want to close out with something that's going to make Ironcaster, I don't know, cringe possibly. We'll see. Caster, are you ready?
I'm ready for suffering.
Okay, here we go. Just me, or does the Flash look like John Cena?
It probably was.
Hold on, but we can roll back. We can roll back. It does look like John Cena. So anyway, yeah, I figured you'd like that one. I'll probably end up having to take that video off for copyright claim, so I hope you guys enjoyed it live.
There's been a lot of effort and talk as of late about trying to push forward with Power Rangers without the tokusatsu, without the Super Sentai footage, and it's like, literally, they needed the designs of the Super Sentai suits from the Mighty Morphin series to make the whole thing work. They want to go back to that, but yet they don't want to be involved with the Japanese stuff.
Oh, that's stupid. That's just like shooting your source material in the nuts. Why would you do that?
And the vast majority of the fan base out there is saying exactly that.
Why would you screw us that way? It is stupid. Oh, you heard that Peacemaker went weird? Oh, okay. A lot of people are hating on Peacemaker this season. I watched the first episode, thought it was okay. I mean, I understand why they made the changes that they did, but I tried not to look into it really deeply as a DC fan or anything, because I'm really not a DC fan at all. I mean, I know the characters and stuff, but I don't really like them. I never have. But I thought Peacemaker, the first episode, was okay. I mean, it's not the best, but I mean, the first episode of the first season was hysterical, balls out funny. But this one ain't bad, I guess. It had some funny parts to it. But I'm going to tell you guys real quick another positive before we leave, because I almost forgot this. Okay, first a disclaimer. I did get this game for free, sorta, because apparently I bought Dying Light 2 Reloaded Edition with all the bells, whistles, and doodads and hip-hops and everything else pre-ordered as, I guess, a thank you. The company that makes Dying Light sent me a free copy of Dying Light the Beast, and I guess they did this for everybody who, backed Dying Light 2. And I got 46.3 hours in Dying Light the Beast so far. And I love the shit out of it. It is so much fun. It is so much better than Dying Light 2. Because for one thing, it is a direct sequel to Dying Light, which Dying Light 2 was not. And Dying Light the Beast also has, basically Beast mode, where your character finally Kyle Crane gets pissed off enough after getting hit too many times or killing too many things, and his rage meter hits enough points. He bulks out and basically turns into the Hulk and just kills the shit out of things. I mean, it's literally he's ripping zombie arms off. He's punching holes through zombies. He's tearing their heads off. If I'm in a boss fight, I know all I have to do is let the enemy piss me off to the point where I can go into rage mode, and then I tear the boss down in about 5 seconds. But yeah, that game is super fun. They took out all the fast travel options and they put in vehicles, so you can vehicle your way to destinations, but it's still more fun to just run cross country or jump on rooftops and parkour. Or if you're just a total, zombie killing dude like me, you will literally walk your way to whatever objective it is and literally kill every single zombie that you encounter, which is fun because I like killing zombies in video games. I just do. And I know Ironcaster thinks that's, makes me less of a human being for it, and I don't care. Caster?
I dislike zombies. I want to see them dead.
Well, good. I mean, I do too. That's why Dying Light the Beast has multiplayer. You could join me. We could kill zombies together, Caster.
Yeah, but I've got a new Digimon game coming out this month and a new expansion for Guild Wars 2, which I have 6,000 hours in.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you props on that. I can't make fun of 6,000 hours on Guild Wars because I, have over 1,000 on Fallout New Vegas. So,
I mean,
yeah.
At least mine's an MMO.
But it's Fallout New Vegas.
I don't know how many I have on World of Warcraft, but it's a lot.
I know how many I have on World of Warcraft.
You don't play it at all?
That's right. I saw enough of it to know that I had no interest in it whatsoever. Matter of fact, there wasn't an MMO that really interested me. Dark Age of Camelot, I had some interest in. I liked it.
Yep.
But I couldn't quite get into it because of the way the gameplay was. It took Age of Conan to get me into MMOs big, and then it progressively got me back out of them because all the MMO players kept boo-hooing and crying about this thing called skill that was required. And they couldn't just, spin their macro wheel and go get a beer and then come back and have their, character finish doing the job. And they kept moving towards that. And I'm like, quit screwing up my game. Well, I circle strafe around you and poke you with my
dagger. I mean, I don't know. It's like people who constantly say that, New Vegas was better, and then they shit all over Fallout 4. And I'm kind of like, but Fallout 4, the enemy actually had way better AI because they took cover or they tried to flank or in general were more difficult to fight with. I mean,
Fallout
the story
4 was
wasn't
a
as
better,
good.
yeah, Fallout 4 was a better game, but as far as an immersive world to explore and the dealing with the characters and stuff within it, it was far, far below New Vegas. But you did also have the advantage of you didn't get trapped indoors and frozen and unable to move every 5 minutes.
Yeah, there was that. I don't know. And we've had discussions about remasters and reversions and all this kind of stuff like that. And I've already admitted pretty freely that if they came out with a suddenly remastered Fallout 3, I'd be the first person in line to buy it. And I'm sure if Fallout New Vegas got a remaster, Bethesda could fund the next Starfield game, which I know that sounds funny, but you have to remember that the first Starfield was like 10 years in development, and it was a piece of crap, and nobody liked it. So it's like, they could do it again.
Hey, Bethesda could fund the next moon landing and a mission to Mars if they remastered New Vegas and didn't screw it up.
I mean, that's literally true. That is literally true. And something I want to point out that I thought was hilarious. I was checking out my Steam stuff not too long ago because somebody named Ironcaster said, "Oh, hey, look, Blood's getting a remaster." And I went, "God damn it, Ironcaster, Blood is like my favorite boomer shooter ever." So, yeah, but I digress. Apparently, something that dropped, and I wasn't aware of it, was Real Bout Fatal Fury 2, The Newcomers, got remastered by Code Mystics, and it dropped like 2 days ago, September 28th. And this is the 1998 arcade fighting, Neo Geo Real Bout Fatal Fury 2, The Newcomers. And it's, arcade perfect, and it's, going to be everything that Code Mystics is known for, including playing as Alfred, the hidden character. And I'm going to buy it because it's like $20, but, my roots, I like SNK, Real Bout Fatal Fury. And I bet you anything, here's the deal that makes me laugh. SNK is making more money off of their old titles, because I noticed Code Mystics is also, redoing a lot of their other games, like SVC Chaos 3 and all these other things. Whereas they launched a brand new, Fatal Fury game, which is City of Wolves or whatever, and it didn't sell for shit because it was a $70 game, and it's a $70 2D fighter with microtransactions.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't SNK also get bought by the Saudis?
Yes, actually it did. They did get bought by the Saudis, and in fact, because of the Saudis' influence, they were forced to put in a character who is like a singer or something who isn't normally part of SNK lore, which that caused a lot of controversy. And the fact that they also put in a soccer player who is pretty famous and apparently well loved by the Saudi royalty. So, if that's any indication of things to come, I suspect EA is going to have some similar issues. Although, just speaking right
Evo.
off... What?
And don't forget, they also bought Evo.
Yeah, they did. But I will say this. I mean, we'll get into this probably more depth on Saturday when we can really tear into it. But my immediate thought was, everybody was like, "Oh no, the Saudis are gonna make all these changes to stuff coming out from EA." And the first thing I want to say is, well, when's the last time you bought something from EA anyway? Because EA's been a piece of shit company for years. Why are you worried about it now? The other thing too is I started thinking, people are like, oh no, well the Saudis are not going to allow this or this or this because of religious intolerance or cultural differences and tolerances, etc., because they banned Dragon Age the Veil Guard and all this kind of stuff. And my thought was, well, everybody was afraid of the same thing whenever the Chinese acquired some of the other game studios. We thought, oh no, the Chinese, prohibition against blood and death and skeletons and all these other stuff like that is going to seriously affect all their games. It ain't done shit.
No, if anything, it's going to be
here.
Yeah, the only
the fact of the matter is
one at a time, guys.
It's a sovereign wealth fund, and just like Sergeant Slaughter and his heel turn and his GI Joe, there's only one religion that sovereign wealth fund cares about, and that's money. Which means that they're going to say, well, what are players going to buy? Now, will they have some input and influence? Yes, but I'll bet you we get a lot better games, and I bet you we don't have a bunch. Pretty damn well guarantee you we don't have a bunch of counterproductive woke politics rammed down our throats either, because they're going to say, hey, every time y'all open your mouth and you veil guard something, the only thing you're guarding is people's wallets from opening for us. So don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not only that, it's also going to be a matter of that. It's like, do you really want to prince off the Saudi princes who have "fuck you, I own your company" money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot of story behind that. Like I said, we don't have a lot of time to get into it tonight, but yeah, needless to say, the original people who were behind Dragon Age Veilguard are now, crying, screaming, and basically pissing in their pants because they can see that the writing on the wall has come for them. And, the fact of the matter is, the writing was on the wall before the buyout, to be quite honest, because I don't think EA could have seriously looked at the numbers that the Veilguard was doing and said, we really enjoy spending this kind of money on a video game and not getting a return because the message is the most important thing, and it is more important for the director's vision of, whatever to be displayed and spelled out in this video game than it is to make an entertaining property that people will love and replay hundreds of times and maybe sink more money into when we microtransaction the shit out of it.
The thing is you're right. The writing's not on the wall. The writing's on the ledger, and it's in red ink. And what it comes down to is the era of ESG is over. A lot of this crap got away with it because it always lost money. It was always what would be considered a failure. Even when these games and stuff like this were quote unquote profitable, they weren't really profitable, but they brought in ESG money and ESG investing. And that is dying a very, very quick and actually very quiet death. It's going away because all of a sudden, all the people whose money goes into those ESG funds are waking up and saying, how about instead of, environment, societal, and governance, we do like earnings and surplus and gains, because that's what my money is there for.
Well, okay. So, and Patty disagrees. He says that ESG is not over. It's going to get way worse. Evidence collective shout. Okay, that's definitely something to get into on Saturday. But I don't necessarily know that it's getting worse. I think that it's kind of hitting a peak. And for some reason, credit card companies and other entities like states and stuff are starting to fold to that under the guise of it's to protect the children. When in fact, the children are smart enough to be able to use AI to crack and bypass all this shit. So,
like you said, get into it on Saturday, but things like collective shout are not ESG. They are the death throes of ESG, because ESG is no longer a vehicle that actually accomplishes their goal. No. When the money people are like, hey, look, I'm not making money and it's all fun and games until I stop making money, then they're like, okay, well, now we have to do activism, boycotts, and social pressure and direct government pressure, because we can no longer give you backdoor boardroom pressure from a group of guys sitting at a table that are managing a wealth fund.
Exactly. But anyway, let's
get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. See you guys on Saturday, when we will definitely have plenty more topics to dive into. And until then, you take care. Have a great week in Geek. And like I said before, if you pray, please pray for DM Blackwall and his family, because they can really use it right now.
Said a rosary for him this morning.
There you go. All right. Y'all take care out there in YouTube land and Kick land and X land, and we will see you on the net.